Cowabunga, dude. Pass me the za. Yeah, there's nothing a cool guy like me enjoys more after a day of doing extreme motocross jumps and listening to hardcore rock music than snarshing on some za. Welcome to the How to Be Cool podcast, where me and my co-host Nick Nanny debate what's cool. And if you ask me, there is no cooler food than za. Name me another food that's cooler. You can't. I love za. Nick, thoughts?
Mamma mia, that's a terrible take, Tony. Listen, I'm not here trying to argue against pizza's place in history as a cool thing, all right? Hey, the Ninja Turtles love it, all right? It's important, but the Ninja Turtles are so 90s, okay? Food, like fashion, needs to move on to the next course, perhaps. And as someone who has his pulse, but on the newest food fashions, I'm here to tell you that there are some really cool new foods coming out, all right? Tony, you don't even know about them, but everybody's going to know about them very soon. I'm talking things like boiled cabbage. There's a new restaurant I've invested in called Cabbage House, and they're serving up boiled cabbage in an easy, casual way with all sorts of toppings like salt, mustard, plain. I'm telling you, kids are going to be walking down the street with their cabbage balls everywhere soon. And pizza's going to be a relic of the past.
Hey, Mom, give me some more vegetables, is what I would say if it was opposite day, okay? Kids don't want that kind of stuff. I mean, imagine showing up. It's not just kids, by the way. Imagine showing up to your bro's football party, okay? What did you bring? You brought a vegetable? Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be? Well, you don't have to, because I've pulled up an image that says it all. And Mike, you might want to, if you want to take a look at this. Ooh. Here we go. Look at this. You brought kale chips to a football party, and this is Sebastian Maniscalco. Aren't you embarrassed? And it actually looks like they just took as someone that does a lot of Photoshop, they took his head from one of his specials, right? Because the lighting doesn't really match.
And they took a bowl with a bunch of nugs of weed.
Because I just think this guy, he would not even eat it, even for a photo shoot for a viral Facebook.
Well, he's not eating it. He's holding it up to. But yeah, okay.
Well, that's a good point.
Point taken, but yeah.
Yeah, actually, and again, if you're just listening audio only, I'll just describe it that Sebastian Maniscalco, the comedian, looks really mad, and that's his face, and then his arm, and it's definitely not him, is holding a kale chip up to the mouth, and he looks mad. But why is he eating them? We don't know, right. And I don't know why anyone would bring kale chips to a football party.
Like most of his posts, it's a mystery.
Yeah. And I'm just going to add one more thing in kind of just to show you how uncool kale is compared to pizza. Comment from Matt Knudsen 6 years ago. Oddly enough, when groups like Maroon 5 are going to sing at the halftime show, kale chips kind of make sense. And this just shows
we got to get him on the show, Matt Knudsen.
Yeah, and Maroon 5. I'd love to sort of pick their brain.
But listen, Tony. Pizza, okay, it's all about the toppings. They go crazy with the toppings. They got toppings on toppings now. I mean, it's absurd. The only two toppings you really need are salt and mustard, like at Cabbage House, where a family can enjoy some cabbage balls. Okay, and I'm telling you, Tony, if you get in with me now, we're gonna make some real dough here, and I'm not talking pizza dough. Okay, come in with me as an investor. I'll forgive this whole. I'll forget the whole lawsuit for you hitting me with your car when you were drunk driving. Just come in with me on this business.
The thing is, I want to fight this out in court because I didn't hit you with my car. You got hit by my car, as I've told my lawyer multiple times to communicate to your lawyer. But we're not here to sort of litigate whether or not drunk driving is wrong. It's not. We're here to talk about pizza. And actually, I have a very special guest here. We do Mike Hanford. Hi. He's eating all kinds of za. And Mike, I've written a little comedy sketch. Would you mind doing it for me?
Sure,
and I think
sure.
This just because Nick's talking about when I heard Nick was going to talk about toppings. Okay. I wrote a little sketch about it, and I'll play me, and you will play my friend. So here we go. Me. I'm not going to say me. I will be playing.
Yeah. Right. Should I say my friend?
No, just
God, just go on.
Yeah, just go.
Okay. So the part is
after the colon. That's the part.
Where does this take place?
And this takes place in a video game house.
Wow.
Video game
Oh, okay,
house.
that's
It's
fun.
like a house, like
the
FaZe Clan.
the FaZe Clan.
You know about this, Nick? Of course you don't, because you're not cool. You
That would
don't
be
eat
cool
pizza.
to be in the FaZe Clan.
I would
house.
love to get
You
into
wear
the
all the
FaZe
big
Clan house.
Hulk smash gloves.
Yeah,
and
these
stuff.
are guys that play games. They're cool.
For
You
money.
wouldn't know- for money. You wouldn't know about it. All right, here we go. Here comes the
And
sketch.
clout.
Here comes the sketch.
Yeah.
I love toppings on my... let me try
Hold
again.
on. Well, are you saying you were not saying me, but are you saying the colon?
No, I'm just going to
Good.
say
Great.
me.
I
or the
wasn't going
colon.
to, but then you didn't,
Right.
and I was
so
like, wait, was
after
he
the
supposed
colon is where the line starts.
Okay.
Whenever I eat pizza, my colon is talking.
Nick, save the comedy for the people with the written comedy
Sure,
sketch.
sure.
Okay. All right.
You
Here we
got
go. I love toppings on my pizza.
Even sandwich, even. Oh, hold on. Let me get around
Yeah.
here.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's hard to read.
Give that a whirl
Let's
again.
do it one more time.
Yeah, one more time.
I love toppings on my pizza.
Even anchovies.
I spoke too soon, and that's a little humor.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
That's
You should send that to Sebastian Maniscalco.
he could do that
Can
in
I
his next video.
can I
Yeah,
ask
go
you
ahead.
when you did that when you did your last line, sort of the punchline of the whole sketch?
Yeah.
You did it to the audience, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
and not me. That's good. No, that's good performance.
Well, that's a good point.
because
Yeah.
you're playing to the audience. Who cares about me, the person
Yeah.
in the scene?
Yeah. I
I
think
think
that's.
Sebastian Maniscalco does that in
Yes.
his skit.
Yeah.
In his
Yeah,
sketch.
yeah.
I think, but you know what? That shows a little bit of my background in theater,
Right.
Because where there's a live audience. But let's try it again.
Yeah.
that
I
is
didn't
a
know
good
you
note.
had a background in theater. That's exciting.
Well, not so much performing, but just kind
Sure,
of being
sure.
aware of
Knowing what theater
it
is,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's try it again. Sorry, I didn't look. I should look at you.
okay, and I'm going to look at this. I'm not going to even use a script anymore because
Because you
I think I
memorized
got
it. Okay. Yeah. I will go off book here. Okay. I love toppings on my pizza.
Hold on, let me look
Yeah.
the line real quick.
Well, you know what it is?
It's
You know
just
this-
quick. It's not a huge line. It's when it comes to you, you got to think of it. But I'm trying to be in the scene.
But
with
also,
you.
I think it shows to how good the writing is because
I think so.
Even the setup sort of got a laugh, and that's good writing.
Okay,
so let's
but
try it
I'm
again.
just going to go from the script. I'm not even going to look at you.
Okay. And are you off book now? Do you memorize
Let me just and even anchovies. No, even anchovies.
I'm just
even
curious.
anchovies.
Nick, is that how you would pronounce that word?
Anchovies.
Okay. All right.
Anchovies.
I always thought it was anchovies, but we don't need to get
Like
into that.
anchovies as well.
But you're totally
we'll have
anchovies.
Pepperoni, peppers, anchovies.
You know what? It's going to work either way. Let's
Yeah,
just
okay.
try it. Okay. I got to look at you. I love toppings on my pizza.
Even anchovies.
I spoke too soon.
Now that's.
And that was better because.
But that makes me laugh, which is probably not good.
Right, you don't want to
You
break.
should have turned to me,
Yeah.
the
Right,
audience.
It probably
Yeah.
it probably does work better to Nick.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I think Sebastian Maniscalco he turns to the audience during his skits. You know,
His skits.
The skits, yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, I spoke. Well, anyways, if you didn't, this comedy sketch, that was based on humor from
Yeah.
the 1980s.
Right.
And that was a big
Right.
joke. Back when, that's what pizza-
What is the 19?
Well, I don't know
I
about
was
it.
born in like 2010, so I don't really
Yeah,
know.
so I'm Gen Alpha. I was born in 2019, but my great-grandfather said back in the 1980s, one of the funniest kinds of humor was saying, you want pizza, and then there's anchovies or anchovies
sure.
on it.
Well,
'cause you
I
don't
grew up.
like
I was born in 1960, so in
Yeah.
the 80s, I was in my 20s, and yeah, we were saying that
it was a
all
big
over the
joke.
place,
Yes.
all the time.
And then at some point, what happened was around, I want to say 2008. Again, this is
Mm-hmm.
all from my grandfather. Now, not my great grandfather said that.
Oh, congrats.
In 2008, he was in his 20s. My grandfather, that the joke then became pineapple on the pizza. At some point,
Oh, sure, yeah.
anchovies stopped being funny.
Well, because the anchovy joke, everyone had done it. Oh, I want anchovies. You know,
Right.
That got so old by like 81, 82.
and then anchovies became cool.
Right, because
Around
it's
that
like,
time,
you actually do eat the anchovies.
Right.
Yeah.
What's that all about? Then it became,
Yeah.
what's that all about?
Yeah,
What's that all about? Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
anchovies now is sort of the tinned fish revolution is happening.
Sure.
And
Isn't that
anchovies-
exciting, the tin fish revolution?
To be alive, I missed out on the whole 80s anchovy pizza joke era, but to be alive now in the sort of tinned fish
Yeah.
revolution, as I call this
TFR.
happening, is amazing. But
Tin Fisherman Square. That was the guy stood in front of the.
I know.
It's
There's
a-
something there. There's
there's
definitely something
definitely a
there,
bit
yeah.
there.
Maybe I don't. You said you're a Photoshop whiz.
Yeah, a big whiz at
Maybe
Photoshop.
take that Tiananmen Square photo that Nick's talking
the
about.
guy in
It's
front
Yeah.
of the
Great, beautiful photo. I mean, it speaks volumes.
Yeah.
And maybe you should Photoshop a little fish standing in front of the tank. Just give
Or-
it a whirl.
yeah.
Don't post it. Just see what it looks like, and
Yeah,
see
you don't
if
have
you
to-
want to go further.
You don't have to post it. I'm not going to probably post this podcast. You know what I mean? It's just sort of,
Sure, it's
just
just
sort of see what it'll
practice.
feel like.
Right.
But Mike, as again, this is the How to Be Cool podcast.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think. Do you think that pizza is cool, or do you think at this point there's cooler foods out there?
Or do you think it's passé and people should
No, it's
try
now
other,
it's cool to have
like,
a
hip,
hummus
cool
wrap.
Right,
restaurants?
I'm gonna go to let me go to Hollywood and get a hummus wrap. Or
Yeah.
you think it's still cool to get
really?
pizza?
You're gonna go to Hollywood to get a hummus wrap? You know how much that's gonna cost?
Yeah.
Even just to get out there.
Right.
Unless you live in Los Angeles, it's
Right.
easier.
Yeah.
But going on the pizza, passe. Define passe. I just have never heard that word before.
Sort of like grandpas who are sitting in chairs farting are the only ones who are really talking
Thinking about
it.
pizza?
Yeah.
I would think that's no. It hasn't gone that far yet, but it's a lot. Yeah, pizza is kind of been there, done it type of thing. So much
Sure.
so that you can get pizzas with smaller pizzas on top as the top.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
I think that's the snake.
Where's
eating
the line?
tail. Yeah, exactly.
Where's the
exactly.
line? Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
we
Because
kinda-
with this technology, you can get a pizza that's down to the size of probably an atom these days. So what?
Yeah.
It's going to be these insane pyramid-shaped pizzas.
It's like when the cell phones came out and they were tinier and tinier, and now they're microscopic.
right.
And
My ear doctor, I'll go in. He's like, Jesus Christ, you got a couple phones in your ear here, buddy.
Yeah.
I said, well, yeah. Can we get them out?
Yeah, they've gotten so small.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they got so small, and now that was.
I
a
got
big
so many
jump.
phones in my ear. There's a dang telemarketer office in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at the a used Apple store. Guy who needed a new phone. And I was like, hey, can I take a look at some of your older, pre-used things? I don't need a new one. It's too expensive. The guy took a salt and pepper shaker, shook out a whole bunch of old phones on a desk. And I was like, well, first of all, you're spilling a lot of these onto the floor. He said, who cares?
Unbelievable.
Who cares? He said. I said, who cares?
It's just
The fuck you talking about? Who cares? This is a
there's
lot
just,
of money.
There's
you're
no
just-
shame anymore.
There's no shame. Just spill all the tiny phones all over the desk.
Hey, You know what that
going
reminds
nuts.
me of? A quote from Sebastian Maniscalco. Aren't you embarrassed?
Yeah.
We saw
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
earlier, and that's exactly.
Yeah.
Don't you
Again,
get
Sorry,
embarrassed
sorry,
about
I'm
this
laughing, but that is.
Yeah, and if
Don't
you're
you
so
get
funny.
embarrassed
Yeah.
by this type of thing?
Yeah, nobody has shame. And again, if you're listening on audio, you're going to have to sort of, I don't know what you're going to do, go to the YouTube channel or something, because you got to see
Yeah.
this image. I don't know how you could look at it. To Google Sebastian Maniscalco kale.
Yeah, I'm sure
show
something.
or
like
Yeah.
that
something.
will
Well,
come
that's
up.
how.
Or
that's how
something
I-
like
Google
that will come up.
Google
Yeah.
Sebastian Sket.
Yeah,
He's
skit.
he's got so many skets out there. They're
Yeah,
so
they're very
funny. I mean, the guy just he'll take any idea elevator, and then he'll make it like a sket. Yeah.
Well, he'll break down what's wrong with the elevator.
Right,
Which is
right,
fun
yeah.
because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, the elevator does fucking
Yeah.
suck.
I think he'll also talk about how people act on the elevator would be a big hit. You're gonna push floor 7.
Yeah.
Floor 7. You know what I mean? That's how he does it. He sort
I
of
don't even know. Yeah, it's like I don't know where it's going, and I don't
Right.
really know what he's
he
talking
kind of
about.
finds
but-
ways to rip into
Yeah.
people, but not in a really mean way. But
You're going to go into an elevator, crowded elevator, and open both your umbrellas?
Yeah,
hell?
aren't you embarrassed?
Aren't you embarrassed? Doesn't that type of thing embarrass you?
Oh, what? Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, he's got himself going. This is going to be a good
He's
one.
imagining the
Because
Maniscalco
Nick's a
routine.
funny guy.
Well,
Yeah.
And if it's making him
Thank you,
laugh,
You
yeah.
know it's gonna be funny. So it's
Oh,
fine.
what kind of elevator is this? An elevator for an elevator.
he lost it. I think he's lost me on it, I think.
Let's just move on. Now that we're saying pizza, is it cool? Is it not? Do you think there's like a new cool food? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because like I said, back in the day, if you wanted to show somebody was cool, you say they're
right.
eating pizza. Do you think something has replaced that
What
now? Are
about
people going
boiled
like,
cabbage? Like, what if?
I heard you talking about that
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Hey, can I give you a little a suggestion as you're pitching this? That
Sure,
You're saying,
yeah.
Hey, do you want to invest? Do you want to invest in the cabbage place? Switch it, just tweak it just a little bit. Hey, you want to ingest at the cabbage
Oh
place?
wow, that's a
Because
good
now
idea,
they're
yeah.
thinking, wait, did he just mix up his word, or is he saying that now? Because now I'm thinking eating cabbage.
Yeah,
I wasn't
That's a
thinking
good
that
idea.
before.
well, let me actually
Look at a picture.
look
of
at
cabbage.
something here because trying to open something up. So a little bit, a few years ago, and this is actually maybe will be a good sort of thing to kind of jumping off point to a little bit of discussion
Yeah.
about what the next cool food is. A few years ago, well, actually 10 years ago.
10 years
now,
ago.
And then this is before I was born, so this was in a past life of mine. Nick and I used to go out to lunch.
Yeah.
And they had a chain called Potatopia.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Now, you wouldn't because it closed within, I would say, less than a year.
Where did that? Where was it?
And there was a few of them. I
There were a
noticed
few of them. One was
Toronto,
in the
New York.
lower west side of Manhattan, and
Soon to be in the lower intestine, hopefully.
Yeah, this says Lower East Cider here. Apparently there was one in Toronto.
no, that was a dish they had called the Lower East Cider. Yeah.
Oh, got it. I didn't realize that.
But it was like Chipotle, but they had baked potato.
Only
and
potatoes.
You get all sorts of fixins on them.
That's good.
There
That's
was-
fun. Were they
Yeah.
giant potatoes?
No, just regular.
Oh.
They're
And let
kind of
me-
potatoes that would probably, at the grocery store run you 10,
And this
11
is a true
cents a potato.
this is a true
yeah.
story. I liked it, and I said, Tony, let's go eat here. We went, and Tony was like, this is great. It's really nice. And then at an open mic, like a week later, I walk in and Tony is talking shit about this restaurant.
Wow.
Well,
Did you feel betrayed or did you?
I felt betrayed,
Okay,
yeah.
I would.
that happens a lot. This is the same thing, sort of like the people that get on the elevator with Sebastian Maniscalco.
Right, yeah.
Push the button there, and he's going, didn't say anything.
Classic
now you're
skit.
ripping on me.
Yeah.
I remember he had a long bit about people that brought a cooler to a hotel. He absolutely destroyed them. He's going, you're at a hotel. Why do you need to bring a cooler?
Yeah.
I would too,
And he
though. I mean,
probably was nice to them.
he has every right to destroy those people.
Yes, but-
that's
What are you going to cool the
insane
soap?
behavior.
Yeah.
I agree, but what I'm saying is,
Oh.
I bet he didn't say anything in the moment. I
Yes,
bet at
yes,
the
yeah,
time
oh, yeah,
being,
yeah.
he's going, oh, you got a cooler? Yeah, we like to bring a few extra drinks when we go on a trip. Oh, cool. They're going, wow, he's really nice in real life. They turn on the TV. Complete
Yeah.
betrayal.
He must, when he puts a special out, he must lock himself away for the weekend and be like, I'm going to have so many
Who am
phone
I?
calls, so many
Yeah.
people saying, you talk about me like that? I thought we had a thing going with a Chipotle.
Who can I destroy
Yeah.
today?
Yep. But he does it well.
Well, anyway, this was a review. This is the Potatopia. I thought maybe we could take a look at this.
Oh, I've got a good potato idea when you're done with this.
All right,
I
well,
want to see
take-
if they cover it, maybe.
It's pretty long, so
I'll settle in.
Yeah, we'll just set. Well, if you want to come over here and take a look for a minute, this is a review.
I'm okay to be
Yeah, all
read
right,
to.
you'll just hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right.
So this is from a channel. I don't know what's
It's a
going on.
video. I thought you were reading.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's a video from these guys. Episode 1262 of these guys.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, they went to Potatopia. I think this looks like it could be the one in New York that we went to.
Potatopia Lower East Cider. So that's the meal he's getting?
I thought it was. That's why I thought this was New York. Because if you're just listening in New York, there's a part of New York that's the Lower East Side,
Right.
which is the lower.
Right. Lower East Side, Lower Upper West
Yeah.
Side.
So if you're just listening, it's a guy. He's got a Hulk Hogan shirt on. He's got a bag, and I think there's a potato in it.
Now, is that Hulk Hogan in a Christmas hat, like a Santa Claus hat?
I think he wears a red.
I see.
hair-
I
what do
see
you
what's
call it?
happening.
Like a do rag to cover his bald.
Right,
got
and
John
he's wearing
Cena
some sort
on
of
there.
like.
Is that John Cena?
I think underneath Hulk, that's John Cena,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
I'm not sure who the other guys
Yeah,
are.
but it's not. That's not. Just say if you're listening, it's not important to the thing. The
Oh,
thing
not
is
at
they're-
all.
Yeah,
Not
but
at
it's
all.
interesting to
Not at
know
all.
they're at Potatopia.
But I think the Undertaker might be on this shirt.
Yeah,
too.
and-
I don't even know if the video is really all that important, but
See, it's called the Lower East
East Cider,
Cider.
and
This
this-
dish.
oh, I get
Tater
it.
tots, lox, scallion, house salt,
Okay.
cilantro with sour cream.
Lower
sounds-
East Slider would be good.
That would have been made more sense because a slider is a food item.
That
This
is
a
John
food
Cena.
item.
It's confirmed.
Yeah, but again, let's not get lost in the weeds here. So he's got
Sure.
it's a potato
I
with,
would never want it.
with lox on it. Smoked.
Oh, that doesn't seem like a
Oh.
good combo for me. I'm not a big locks
And I
guy.
think
you
Triple H
understand?
is on the shirt
Yeah.
as
Ooh.
well.
Again,
Hunter
but Nick,
Hearst
it's-
Helmsley, for
it's
those
not.
in the
Yeah,
know.
but again, that's not sort of germane to what we're here to talk about the
No.
potato.
And now he's
Dan
peeling.
St. Germain.
No, this is too niche. Come on, let's stay on. So
He's pulling. He's really just eating just the locks, huh?
yeah, and also, you know what? This isn't a potato. These are tater tots. Oh, they probably when the people there's
it's-
extra baked potatoes left over, they shred them and fry them
Yeah.
to make tater.
You ever do tiny little latkes? Those are fun.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess
a
that's
fun-
what a tater tot is—a kind of a round.
just kinda smush it a little bit and then
latke,
crisp it
yeah.
up.
What's the difference? Something overwhelms the flavors. We didn't hear what it was, but
That's
any-
okay.
Anyway, this isn't really that. Quite honestly,
It was
not that
interesting to
funny
see the picture
of the restaurant.
of what that potato looks like.
So-
It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
I think with this they were saying let's make potatoes the new pizza. It didn't work. What?
Right, but it did create a spark in me where I
Yeah.
I sort of was like, wait a minute, there's something here. And so with Cabbage House, we're kind of thinking past the bowl, and we're actually gonna serve boiled cabbage pieces in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
To you.
Clear plastic, or do you have a choice of color on the
Any
bag?
color you want, you
Really?
know. Yeah.
What about this? You know how when you make a cabbage, you get cabbage,
Right.
and you take the first layer off because it's kind of gross and harder and it's been nicked up and you don't really eat that part. Why don't you take those off, save them, and do what this was so genius? What the Burger King guys used to do. They used to go in and get a little crown. So now the kids come in. Hey, have a little bit of a cabbage hat.
Yeah. Cabbage head.
Cabbage head. Why the hell not? I mean, some people are Kids in the Hall fans out there. They might still love that.
That's right. Yeah. That's a really good idea.
I think that's a good idea. Now, can I tell you, Tony's
You had
clicking
potato
around
idea.
on the
So I'm
internet.
looking
God
at
knows
potato
what
content.
he's
Sorry,
making
I'm
sure his
back in.
FanDuel bets are all in line.
I'm
Don't
back
worry,
in.
Tony. You're not going to miss the NBA playoffs.
I'll tell you what I was looking at. It was the Instagram account of Potatopia.
Right.
They, I guess they tried to start it up again in 2019 in Toronto, but that was the last sort of we've heard of it, and it's gone again. But so, what were you talking about? I'd love to know. I wasn't listening.
going to say,
Yeah.
what about a place that does baked potatoes, but makes them like little, you take those little fingerling potatoes.
Yeah.
Make those into little tiny baked potatoes somehow. I think those as like little poppers would be a lot of fun.
Oh, shit.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Well,
Have them while you're driving.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've been trying to find a way to eat a baked potato while driving, and
there you go.
There you go.
One of the
I've been trying
biggest
to find a
problems.
way to drive.
Yeah, I've been trying to find a way to drive again because the state won't let me due to, again, what happened a little while ago with my alleged crime of drinking and driving.
right.
Driving into his house, or what happened?
No,
Well,
I was on the
outside his
street.
house. But again, during happy hour, he knows I get a little loopy.
Yeah.
He knows I kind of will be driving around in that area. He's still outside in the street doing what? Why do you need to walk
Playing
around
devil sticks.
playing devil sticks? And your driveway, of all places to play devil sticks, your driveway. You know what I
That's
mean?
where people can see me.
Well, but to be honest, though, unless you have some sort of a balconied room in your house, you don't have room to get to the height on some of
Exactly.
these balcony sticks. Or balcony sticks. Excuse me,
hey,
devil sticks.
Do the devil sticks on your driveway anytime, but not between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m.
Okay,
'Cause
that's
when
a
I'm-
good point.
Yes, that's when I'm drinking. And
It's a huge happy hour, too. I love it.
but 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., that's called Devil's Morning. Don't you? Yeah.
Devil's morning?
Yeah.
Devil's Morning.
In the Devil Sticks community, that's what we call it.
Devil's
Oh,
morning.
because everything's a little
different.
skewed.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that
And the
world.
devil's
Right,
morning,
right,
the
right.
devil's night. You know what
Yeah.
we call it? That's the night before Halloween.
That's right.
Devil's
right,
night.
right.
That's a big night in the Devil Stick community.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bet.
I'd love to sort of pick your brain a little more about this, but we got to talk pizza. We got
That's
to stay
right.
on topic because
Yeah.
I think for this podcast we don't really have big names, ourselves. So people are tuning in for the topics. So, you know what I mean? People are going to find this. They're going to go and Google pizza, and
Right.
this will come up, and
Which is a
they'll listen.
popular food.
Yeah.
And what you wanted to? We want to find a new pizza.
Yes, because pizza I think is not cool anymore. What's the next thing?
Listen,
Wait, you
Fingerling
think it's
potato?
not cool anymore?
Oh wait, I think it's cool. Nick thinks it's not cool.
He doesn't
anymore.
think it's cool.
Yeah. What's the next thing if it's not cool?
I think the next thing you'll see them served out of restaurants. You'll see them served out of trucks. They're doing a lot of food trucks. They call them
That's
food
right.
trucks. There's a truck that sells food out of it. Perfect. It's a mobile restaurant.
Perfect for me
Which is
because
so
then,
cool.
then if you're drinking and driving, you go, "Hey, this is my job. You literally can't arrest me for this.
Yeah.
This is my job.
You literally
I have
cannot
to taste
arrest
the
me
beer.
for doing my job.
doing my job. I
Right.
have to taste the beers to make
Yeah.
sure they
Right.
while I'm moving the food truck
Right.
to make sure they haven't spoiled. So what's your idea?
Now, out of these food trucks, I've noticed a lot of people getting a very delicious, sometimes spicy taco. I think tacos are having a little bit of a moment right now. The older brother,
so,
the
yeah.
burrito, maybe soon enough, but the taco, people are liking the folded up, or bread, I guess it is.
What do you call it?
Some little
Tortilla.
cheese, a tortilla.
Yeah.
Cheese, breadcrumbs, I think they do on them sometimes. I think I saw some breadcrumbs on them.
Yeah.
know-
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right? People are
Yeah.
putting breadcrumbs on
Olives.
olives,
Yeah.
and bacon bits, and
Bacon
Yeah.
bits.
capers,
and just deep frying them. These
The tacos. But let me just throw this back at you guys. Tacos, to me, I think were peaked in coolness right around during the whole, like around 2010, where people were going.
Taco Bell?
No, well, that was huge.
That was
but
huge.
That was I think that was still an attempt.
I thought that dog was really talking.
Taco Bell really ushered in the Yo Quiero Taco Bell era.
Yes, if not for Taco Bell, that era never would have really kicked off.
Right.
But I think tacos had a peak more when people were going, tacos are epic, like around 2010.
Yeah.
Remember,
Right.
with like, when does the narwhal eat the taco?
Yeah,
This
right.
kind of
My
stuff.
cousin or my uncle. Well, no, it was my uncle gave these.
Well,
to
due
my
to the
cousin.
sort of nature of how your family was formed, unfortunately, your cousin is your uncle.
Watch
A little
yourself.
bit. I've
All
been
right,
around,
you
but
like to have a lot of fun with my sort of in my family
inbred.
insecurities.
Yeah.
Which I do not like.
But go ahead. So yes, your uncle.
My uncle gave this was a gift he gave to my cousin, but he showed him before my cousin opened them because I wasn't there for Christmas that year. But we did an early thing, and he showed me before wrapping. They were a pair of socks that had tacos on them underneath on the feet, on the bottom of the feet said, "Pardon me." I really want to make sure I'm getting this right. It said, "Wake me" on one foot, 4 tacos on the other. Yeah. If you had been drinking, I know. Yeah, I like
what
that.
would have happened? I didn't want to make a mess.
And the idea is, you're lazy, you're sleeping on the couch, just your feet, bottoms of your feet are sticking out.
Right.
And the family sees that, and maybe somebody actually does it for you.
Yeah.
This gives me
At the very least, they know you like tacos.
This gives me an idea, for a webcomic, actually, because I think webcomics sort of peaked around that time. And it's a couple, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy and a girl. They're kind of cute. The guys.
Are they like realistic looking, or are they like?
No, they're like big round heads, just barely
yeah.
even look like a human, just like a big circle with cute little eyes.
Oh, that's
nice.
And
it's
like
cute.
that.
And
I like that.
And the husband wakes up in the morning. He goes, babe. So you're laughing.
There you go.
Yeah. Just the idea of waking up is funny. It's funnier than sleeping.
I thought that was the
laughing.
last panel, so I was just praying to know last panel.
Well, if you thought
Go
that
ahead.
the first panel was funny because it kind of comes around to the last, the husband wakes up in the morning, right? He goes, babe, wake up.
Oh.
Pokes at the wife.
Yeah.
Then it goes
Oh,
3
no,
hours
she's
later.
dead.
3 hours later, she's like,
Is she dead?
Oh shit! Is she dead?
yeah, she's dead, and that's the end of the webcomic.
Oh.
No, it's pretty sad, but unfortunately,
But
webcomics
that's
as
life.
a medium can
That's
kind of do a lot of
though.
things.
That's how it goes.
A lot of these comics too, aren't even funny. There's the one about the
Holocaust, Mouse.
Yeah, that's
Is that what you were thinking of?
And I
Not
wasn't
funny.
thinking that. I was thinking there's a guy in the DC comic book world who ran as fast as electricity.
The Flash.
The Flash.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Flash. Yeah.
Flash. Yeah, I thought it was a photography guy because I thought he was the spin-off of little Jimmy from Superman
Yeah,
world,
yeah,
and
yeah.
now they found out he can run as fast as the speed of lightning
Hey,
or something.
I just thought of a funny part to this webcomic. I'm going to change it. So she's not dead. So it goes.
Okay, good.
So it's like
God.
Yeah, that's not as funny. It's too short.
it goes 8 a.m. Babe, wake up. He's poking at her. The next one goes 12 p.m. He's poking at her.
12 p.m. now.
The 12 p.m. Finally,
She's not dead.
and this is getting a little bit long for a webcomic, but let's go. And then
The
6
internet
p.m.
is so big you can do
you could
as
do
many
like
panels
6.
as you want.
Just need an
4
external
p.m.
hard
He
drive.
goes, babe. So 12 p.m. She's still sleeping.
Yeah.
4 p.m.
4
He
p.m.
goes 4 p.m. now. He goes. He's about to say babe. He goes babe,
Yeah.
and then he thinks for a minute.
Is that
then
a
there's
whole
a panel,
panel?
a whole
Yeah.
panel of him, kind of like thinking.
Yeah. I can picture it.
I got tacos. Next panel. Whoop,
Yeah.
She's right up in bed.
Yeah.
Wait, she's not dead.
She's not dead.
She
This
was
is a
never
new-
dead. I
She was
love
never
that because
dead.
the whole time you're thinking is this just air escaping from this corpse?
Yeah.
Right.
But it was snoring the whole time.
Yeah, it was
and the
snoring.
husband,
Yeah.
The husband was dead.
ended up. Well, he died of. I don't know. Does he die
He was
later?
a ghost.
Yeah.
Was he-
In the next. What do we call it? Installment of the comic. He dies.
Maybe he
It's like
chokes on
Sixth
the.
Sense
he probably
where he-
chokes on that taco.
He chokes on the
Yeah.
taco, dies. But this is what were we talking about? The webcomic. But no, it's
Right.
not. She's not dead. The joke is the only thing that'll make her
right.
The
Wake
only
up
thing
is
that bring her
tacos.
to life is taco.
tacos. And this is a webcomic.
I wonder if
idea.
the installment before that one,
Yeah.
if they described what made her so tired, because that's a long time.
Yeah, you should have a
know.
prequel comic.
Maybe she
Oh
works
wait,
at a-
what did?
Maybe
I
she's a
know.
doctor who
Devil
works
stick
overnight.
practice.
Oh, you
I
know.
know. I know what made her tired. Okay.
Too much pizza.
The week before. No, even better. they're watching their favorite streaming series, and the husband goes,
For
"Okay."
some people, it's The Last of Us.
The Last of Us,
Andor.
Some people, it's Andor.
Some
Andor.
some people,
/or.
The Mentalist, not streaming originally, but now you can
You can
find
watch it now.
You
Yeah,
can
The
find it.
Mentalist. Now,
And
who was that? Who was The Mentalist?
Well, get this.
Was that?
It was the guy. I think his name was Simon Baker. Is the actor, a good-looking blonde guy.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
the premise of it was, this is kind of funny because there was a show called Psych. Have you heard of this show?
Oh, that's right.
Right.
And
That
that's
a
a-
really great tagline.
Your tagline.
Was that prank show, Psych?
No, that was Punked.
Yes.
There was probably one called Psych. Was a one.
Yes.
There was a detective. He was pretending to be a psychic,
He's pretending. Okay.
but he wasn't a psychic detective.
And an incredible
Great
tagline.
Fake psychic, real detective. And that was the tagline.
If I had just read that, I would know what the show
You know
was.
what it was. That it could have explained it all. But then, like 2 years later, they came up with another show. But Psych was a comedy detective show. And
Yes.
2 years later, they came
Like
up with this.
Fletch.
Yes, it was like Fletch, a joke. And then 2 years later, they came up with a show called The Mentalist.
Yep.
Exact same premise. He's pretending to be a psychic detective, but it was a dramatic series. The same premise.
That's that happens every so often. in
sometimes.
Hollywood.
Like this
I
webcomic
feel like
idea.
Sebastian Maniscalco would have a great skit about
fun of
that.
the
Like,
same-
what is
Yeah.
this? What is this TV show? I've seen it before. You know,
They got 2 of these shows now.
Well, this is what happened to me.
Two of these shows. You know,
It's
yeah.
famous. 2 of these shows now.
Well, I came up with the idea of having a webcomic just about a normal couple dealing with the kind of sort of awkward moments that happen in a relationship.
Yeah.
And then someone stole that from me. So, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. It just happened.
Which
You can't
one
sue.
was that? Was that the single guy?
Yeah, with the single guy. It was a friend.
Well, speaking of the single
I didn't-
guy, all right,
I didn't
well.
finish describing. Can I
Yeah,
just
go ahead.
Can we
Go
talk
ahead,
about
do it.
the previous installment before the taco?
Listen, the guy goes to the girl says to the guy, "Babe, let's watch our favorite show." What
Yeah, I like that. I get that.
What show?
We
He goes,
evolved
well,
into that.
okay. He goes, okay, but don't binge watch. Don't binge watch the whole thing because I got work in the morning.
Yeah.
She goes, okay, no problem.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah.
Next panel, his eyes are getting like close. I mean, they're not very. Just getting a little bit close.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
goes.
yeah,
Oh, he goes. Okay, last episode. I got to go sleep.
What,
She
was
goes,
he
no problem."
boxing? Or do you have like?
No, because he's getting
Oh.
tired. Because he's getting tired. and she goes, okay, fine. Last
I thought
episode.
I thought his eyes were like
and then.
bruised from.
And then it goes 8 hours later. She goes, "Wow,
8 hours later.
8 hours later, I can't believe I finished the whole series." She turns to the husband. He's fallen asleep.
Zonked.
She watched it without him. See? Now she's tired
Of course, I see
from
why.
staying up all night. Next day, he wakes up 8 a.m. because he got a good night's sleep, and then the whole taco storyline happened.
But who's dead? Who was dead in that?
I don't know if anyone ended up dying in this
Oh.
particular
Not in this-
series. Maybe
not-
later in the
yeah,
this series.
like I said, in the next one, he just dies, and there's no explanation. And it's just a really sad end to this 3 installment webcomic I
It's a
came up
little.
with.
It's just, but it's a nice story. It's got a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah,
It's got a moral.
yeah, it gets a little dark.
Okay, well, I think
dark.
it's time for my
Yeah.
segment.
Oh.
We've taught
All right.
Mike. I'm sorry, but we've been going back and forth about this. I've written a book about my experiences being a comedian, and
You have?
yes, and
I thought we weren't doing this segment anymore.
we had a discussion about this. Maybe you were. I mean, I know for sure you were drunk, but
Yeah.
we had a discussion about how we need to allocate more time to me reading my novel.
I guess when you were talking, I was hearing. I heard, "Have more beer, have more beer, have more beer." But I guess that was what I wanted to hear. You were
Exactly,
talking about.
exactly.
Now
Yeah.
you're working on a novel and you're reading.
I've already written it.
Oh, it's written, okay.
Yeah,
It's a
and
novel or a memoir or sort of.
It's both. It's
kind
like
of
it's the whole thing. It's,
metafiction.
It's
right.
it's called my life as the funniest guy. And it's
but-
all about my experiences doing open mics.
Oh.
And I'm gonna read 2 chapters, Tony. We discussed
2?
this. Yeah.
Okay, but I just want to let you know that like we're already running. A little
exactly.
bit
So
long,
if you let me read it, maybe
Are
I
you
think-
a rapid reader?
yeah, 2
I mean,
chapters.
but there's some passages that they're so good, I have to read them
Okay,
a few times.
okay. I mean,
So-
if they're that good, I
So
bet
they're short,
some of
you
them I'll, because also like my humor is like really like cerebral, and you kind of have to like read it a few times. So there's a few segments that I'm gonna, I'll probably have to be like, that was pretty good, and then I'll read it again.
Okay.
This is well, you're gonna like this one, Tony. This is about.
So I hate to interrupt. I'm just making sure all these cords are plugged in. Yes.
Yeah, let me just make sure because okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like
I'm seeing all these cords. I'm like, it would be terrible if this wasn't all plugged in.
One
Go
time
ahead.
we had one where I forgot to record. You know what I mean?
This-
It's recording. The cords are plugged in.
There's so many damn buttons.
Yeah,
these
and
days.
I will say, Nick, this is coming out of your memoir time. But go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
this
sorry,
this
I'm sorry.
first
No,
chapter I'm
don't.
going to read is about a time that Sean Donnelly retweeted me. Okay, and this.
yeah.
Okay, so Tinder. You think I'm gonna?
Hey, Nick, I'm really sorry, but the producer's waving me down. We got to do a little check-in. So
Okay,
we'll
but
have
we'll
to pick
come
this
back
up.
to-
Nick.
we'll
We'll
come-
come back to it maybe 10, 11 episodes down the road. For now, I think the segment isn't working. Let's hear what the producer has to say.
As the producer, I'm thrilled with how this episode is shaping up. Mike, Tony, and Nick are hitting their stride. Tony's vegetables rant was unexpectedly compelling. Nick's potato trivia added great flavor, and Mike's taco takes are classic. We're halfway through, and the chemistry is undeniable. The balance of humor and oddball insight is exactly what our listeners tune in for. I think this one could be a fan favorite. If they keep this pace, we're looking at one of our strongest episodes yet. Just hoping we circle back to the pizza debate. It's too good to leave on the table.
Oh, see, I think sort of a balanced perspective on sort of everything that's been going on. Well,
Great. Yeah.
guess what?
Too bad
the
we
next.
didn't get to the book. That sounds exciting. I'd love to hear. I'll listen.
Yeah, but I
in.
think it's more of a offline, not sort of while we're kind of burning. I only
Right,
have
right.
so much space on my hard drive. I saved a few bucks on this. I have 10 kilobyte hard drive, so unfortunately we don't have time to record too much. But you know what we do have time for?
Oh.
The best segment of all. Guys
Corner.
Oh my gosh!
And this is a segment
Why
where
did you get me? Oh my gosh!
this is a segment where we have some high gravity
Oh my
lagers.
gosh!
This is beer with extra alcohol.
You
And
too.
we get loaded.
And because podcasts, every podcast now is like anti-guy.
Yeah.
And we're bringing guys back.
Guy stuff back.
Finally
I'm gonna
stuff for
clink you not
guys.
over the. Oh,
Yeah,
I
watch
don't
out.
wanna-
Yeah, you don't want to
okay.
spill because every podcast today is like, hey, it's feminist time. We hate men.
Yeah.
And you know what?
You
How about something
guys.
for guys? How
You
about a
too.
podcast for
What
guys?
happened to the guys?
You two are something else, and we're just. I'm gonna take a.
You
sip.
could have
Yeah.
as much as you want if you want to. If you don't have to drive. Yes.
Wow.
Strong stuff.
That comes in rough and ready. What is it?
And
This is a lemon radler.
50% alcohol. This is higher than
This is
New
high
England whiskey.
stuff.
Yeah, high alcohol
You
lager.
can feel it. Does burn a
They
little.
call this devil's breakfast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in Guys Corner, I think this is our time where as men, we can just kind of vent about what it's like to basically, when you're a guy these days, you have a target on your back.
Yeah,
As a
exactly.
guy, you can't do anything. And,
Sure.
we're talking about pizza. This is actually related to me as a guy. You know what I mean? I like a classic pizza. Cheese pie, pepperoni. I call up Domino's. You'd think just a regular all-American
The
pizza.
pizza place.
The pizza
Yeah, yeah,
place. Yeah. And I go, hey, I'd like an all-American cheese and pepperoni pie. You know what they say on the phone? Sorry, we only have a gluten-free vegan pizza.
Excuse me?
I'm like, what? And instead of pepperoni, it's got estrogen pills.
On
That's
the pizza.
On the pizza. That's the only pizza that Domino's serves now. So literally, a guy can't even get a guy's pizza.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy, Nick? You dealing with that? Yeah.
That's the only
That's
pizza
the
you can get at
only
Domino's.
pizza you can get at Domino's, and this just
Yeah.
shows the war on guys has now even spread to our food.
I know.
Nick, thoughts about being a guy?
Well, it's I will say this about pizza, where I think, guys got to be careful with pizza because here's the thing. I like to eat my lunch with a bunch of other salt of the earth guys on a steel beam above the city.
Yeah.
We like to recreate that painting. Pizza, it gets really greasy. We're all slipping and sliding on that beam. It's not good. It's
I can't imagine that's exciting.
Yeah. So that's why, I hate to say it, but we have a lot of rice cake lunches.
Well, that's
Rice cakes?
Yeah.
Aren't you embarrassed? That's Baskin Medicalco. Rice
That's good.
cakes on a
Yeah.
construction site?
Well, usually there's one guy who does a Sebastian.
Oh, that's good. Is it
but
you?
then- no, it's not me. But it's always like a guy at the end of the beam. He's like, "Are you eating rice cakes?" And then he's falling off the building.
Yeah, every
you know,
day
it's,
someone
it's
falls
just,
off,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's But it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's not enough steel beams for guys to eat lunch. And it's like, where are we supposed to nosh,
That
brah?
would be. How about that for a bar or a restaurant? The steel beam. You come and
great
sit in those
name.
beams, get some photo ops.
Right.
Artisanal cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
that.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
just an idea.
Smash burger.
A
is
smash
big, too.
burger.
Smash
kind of
burger.
Or
Burger.
even a men's burger that's even higher than a hamburger.
Give me a double smash.
Give me a double smash. This is
Yeah.
a guy's burger. Mike,
Smash it in my face. Why
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah. Give me a bowl. Give me a bowl of mayonnaise
Yeah.
to dip it in.
dip the burger.
Dip the
it sauce.
burger
Dip the burger in
Mike, you
there.
dealing with any problems as a guy? How are you handling the war on guys?
Me?
Anything really getting to you as a guy lately?
I found in the war on guys. I'll be, when you in the old days, this is only a couple of years ago. The old
Yeah.
days, you used to be able to walk around a parking lot outside of a grocery store, Home Depot, and if you saw a truck that you liked,
Yeah.
like nothing, you just climb up in the back of the truck and you can test out the bed of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you had more time, you can go inside and sit in the front, sit in the back, and really test it out. These days, you can't just walk into anyone's truck anymore.
No.
And just, I'm testing the suspension back here.
Yeah.
They don't let you do it. Nobody will let you do it. Sucks.
It's terrible.
Sucks
It's
to
all
be a
run
guy.
by women now. They,
Yeah.
Sure.
I go.
They-
I go to the Ford dealership to buy a truck.
Yeah.
I say I'd like give me a nice brown truck. They
Right.
say, sorry, the only color we have is hot pink.
Hi.
You can't get a brown truck
You
anymore.
can't get a dark brown truck
I
anymore.
want it brown. I don't want a hot pink truck. I show up in that truck. My boys are gonna roast me. I'll be more roasted than at Thanksgiving.
Your
And
boys are
then
going
a
to grab
Thanksgiving
you,
dinner.
pin you down, and have that car wrapped in no time flat.
No time flat. I saw a funny. Speaking of cars, and
Nice
then we'll move on.
T-Mobile wrap.
I saw a funny men's bumper, not bumper sticker, but like
You gotta share with
thing
us.
the other day. I saw. Yeah, what do you call those?
gotta
One of those
share
stickers.
You got it.
One of those stickers that goes on the back of the car. I guess a bumper. You see those ones that goes like my family, and then it's got mom, dad, the kid, and the little, like dog or something to show the whole cat, the whole
or
family.
Bird or fish. Some
I
people
saw
have
one
fish.
looked the same, kind of like a stick figure
Yeah.
outline, except it said "making my family," and a man and a woman are.
Okay.
What are they doing?
Butt fucking?
Yeah, I probably wasn't going in that hole just because they're trying to make the family, but I don't know. I should have waited till the guy came back and asked.
Oh,
how,
you know what? I think when I said
how-
butt
what it
fucking,
meant.
I was thinking doggy style. That's what I meant to say.
But this is the problem with the English
Not
language.
exactly
There's so
in
many.
the butt.
right.
Yeah.
But
You
the
know where it
position-
goes.
But you
Do you know where it
can't.
go- I'm
You
gonna hang
can't
on.
really make
You
a.
know-
I'm always getting those two
You know what-
confused, and it really does fucking.
I'll tell you after the
Okay,
podcast
great,
where
great.
where it goes when you're doing the other.
Because
thing.
you
Anyway.
can't. You can't make a baby that way.
Yeah,
Sure.
believe me. Yeah, I've tried, but here's the thing. It's time for our next segment.
Here we go.
All right,
Real quick, can I
Yeah,
just
go
say I
ahead.
saw one of those
Absolutely.
family things.
you're making my family.
One of those, but
the normal
it was,
one.
It was the more normal, but a little skewed. It had it had Vader.
Ah.
It had the different characters from the
Star
Disney series, the Star Wars series.
Star
yeah.
Wars, yeah.
I would go. I would wait and be go. A fellow geek, I presume.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
whoever
yeah,
had
yeah,
that
yeah,
car.
yeah.
I'd go. May the force be with you.
Right,
oh,
right,
and speaking of, May the 4th is coming up, or it happened already. How do we celebrate Star Wars Day?
I flipped on episode 1.
Yeah, one
Fell
of the
asleep
best.
before they even got into the Federation.
Yeah, I love Star Wars because
Yeah.
it's got robots and spaceships. But let's move on. Video reactions. Now
We're gonna watch Star Wars.
We're gonna watch Star Wars in its entirety.
Great.
Copy strike be darned. I'll take the hit on the copyright strike.
Take that hit.
Yeah, I'll take the hit. If we got to pull this down
Just
because
kidding.
I love
We got a
watching
regular Sebastian Maniscalco over here. We're gonna watch videos about pizza.
I just found 2.
Oh, good.
So we do video reaction now. One thing about video reacting, and you've probably done this, being in the sort of entertainment business, it's a popular form of thing now. Video reacting.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Sometimes a video comes on.
Right.
You can't think of a good reaction, and you're suddenly wasted. The audience's time. So
Yeah.
what we like to do is just I haven't seen these, but we like to have some good reactions queued up.
These are pizza.
These are pizza related videos. So if we just have something queued up to say, like, I think I'm gonna say something like, I'm gonna say, bro did not just do that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say.
That feels good.
I'm gonna do the old classic. I'm horny,
Yeah.
or I'm not horny.
Okay, you got 2.
Yeah.
But you'll have to make the decision.
Yeah,
I'll make a
are you
game
sure
time.
you're going to be able to sort of pull from that sort of well, but in the moment? Having
no,
two.
I'll just stick to I'm not horny.
Okay. I mean, if you could do it, but I'm saying that's like level 10 of improv.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
So you're going to say I'm not.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take the.
And I'm going to
pressure
say, what was I going to say? What was bro thinking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay. And Mike,
And,
you got
these
something?
are pizza videos?
There are a couple pizza related videos.
I'll
but
say-
in case one accidentally plays that isn't a pizza one,
Sure.
like I would have something maybe.
Okay. How about? No, I get exactly what you're
Okay,
talking
so,
about. Make it sort of universal,
Yeah.
evergreen. How about look at the size of that crust?
Okay, that'll work
Okay,
because it could be
cool.
about anything. You could have
Right,
crust.
could be a sandwich
Can
video.
have crust.
or a-
Bread can have crust. All right,
somebody
so here we
with
go.
a-
This one's called. This is I watched this. This is we talked about some of the twists and turns that happened in my
Sure.
webcomic. This is a twist.
It felt like a roller coaster. That kind of-
Yeah.
So this is footage of somebody dying?
No,
or-
this is another
Oh,
comedy
okay.
skit, but this twist you will never see. This is like I don't want to say anything, but you won't see the pit.
Sixth Sense.
Oops, I almost ruined it. I'll
Okay.
tell you at the afterwards. You'll see by saying the word I almost said coming. But here we go. Pizza delivery guy crashes out. Bro is a maniac.
I'm gonna stick with my. Oh, bro's a maniac.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's a comedy sketch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good.
All right. So here we go.
What? They didn't leave no tip?
Going
No
wrong.
tip. I'm not horny.
Okay.
He farted on the pizza, then he ate some of it.
And now this is a little bit off.
Oh my gosh.
He did something kind of an unspeakable act to the pizza. If you're listening, just trust me. He had to remove his genitals to do it out of his pants. Okay.
Honestly, I didn't know how to tip in the app, man. I'm so sorry about that. But here's a 20.
And they didn't. They gave him it.
shit.
Here's
Oh
the
my
20
God.
now. And if you're listening, he urinated on the pizza
Right.
already because he
I'm not
thought
horny.
he thought he wasn't getting a tip.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
a cool
Now
sound
he's
effect.
running away. And I guess
Oh
he.
shit.
What happened? Oh, he saw the guy took a bite out of the pizza, and I guess he might have smelled the urine.
Yeah.
And now the guy's running away. They've,
They didn't leave no
and I like that.
That's good.
Give me
That's
time to
something.
kind of chuckle at the concept when they show him
Wait,
running
let's
for
see
a
the
while.
comments. Go to the comments.
Oh wait, I forgot to say, what was bro thinking?
Oh yeah, and that crust was amazing.
That really
as far as
did
I can
not
tell.
make me horny.
There's two comments. This is
It almost made me horny.
Only two. Well,
Well-
maybe this is freshly uploaded.
yes, because I searched by upload date for these.
Although I'll tell you what's making me horny, the like amounts on the video.
And,
Oh wow.
And look this
Oh
up.
wow, 69.
That's pretty good. But
69
yes,
is
I-
code for sex.
I started by new, so this is a new sketch. So
You'd almost think it was a nude sketch with the
Yeah.
number of likes. Okay, yeah. What's the
we've got
reactions there?
3 crying laughing faces,
Yep.
and another one with 3 crying laughing faces. 2 crying laughing
6
faces.
crying laughing faces.
But this guy,
6 in total.
this is a comedy channel called Xenocide Car Experimentations. All car. Okay, I think what happened with this is that they started a channel
Yeah.
that says all car related content. They probably started a channel.
But then they
Some
realized
cars.
they realized, hey, we're pretty funny guys.
Yeah.
Why don't
Let's do
we?
some pizza.
I think they probably
And
did.
you do car experiments by
Yeah, I drink and I see how much I can drink and still get home from the bar
Yeah.
by driving,
thanks a lot,
and
my guy.
it's
Have a good night.
a lot.
You should
turns out.
network with Xenocide.
Yeah, well, let's see. So what happened was,
That
nobody.
one video had some cars in it though. When he was running away from, he was in the parking.
He was in
lot.
the parking lot. So it looks like nobody watches their car videos, and they've had to pivot to sketch comedy.
They had the Tokyo Drift into comedy.
But it's interesting because there are people that will spend their whole life trying to do sketch comedy. These guys have been forced to do it so they can get 100 views on their car.
I hear that's how Sebastian Maniscalco got. He would talk about engines on.
He was a
stage.
car guy first.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would.
Oh, didn't he intern at Click and Clack? Wasn't that his story?
What is Click and Clack?
Oh, Click and Clack is the NPR show about
Oh,
the two
yeah.
guys who talk about
I
car
remember
talk.
Car Talk.
Not
Oh,
Click
yeah,
and Clack.
yeah.
That's the
I remember,
hosts.
I remember Car
Jeez,
Talk.
I haven't listened to Car Talk in way too long.
Yeah, I know. Well, because I think, unfortunately, one of them at least has gone
I think
to the
you're right.
great dealership in the sky.
I think you're right, but that's a fun show.
It's a fun show. Now
Fun
you
show.
can find back episodes you can
Yeah.
listen to. But hopefully with AI and stuff, they'll be able to bring back the guy from Car Talk that died, and they can just continue the podcast.
Right, and then talk about electric cars.
Let me just try something. And I know this is probably burning a lot of oxygen. We shouldn't use this, but just see, ChatGPT, write me an episode.
I mean,
of
as long as you're
Car
not doing
Talk.
it
Yeah.
every moment of the
Yeah.
day, you burn up a little oxygen.
Here's an original episode of Car Talk, and see, ChatGPT will write one for you. Here's your host, Click and Clack. Right.
There you
right,
go.
Yeah. And there's jokes. All right. Oh, this is kind of a bummer.
Wow, that's
Wish I
great.
hadn't done that. But they did. It will write it. So if you're missing car talk, you just have chat.
Yeah.
GPT write it
Chat
for you.
GTA.
But well, we've hit pretty much all the stuff we wanted to do. We did the videos.
Good.
We
I did all my stuff.
You did all your stuff. I did my webcomic. Nick got to read as much of his memoir as I think we needed to hear. And now it's time for our sort of closing statements, thoughts on whether or not pizza's cool. I can go first, or if anybody else wants to chime in.
I think pizza. You've convinced me. Pizza is cool. It's here to stay. It really brought us all together. I actually have a chapter in my memoir about hanging out with some comedians after a show at a pizza place. And I mean, if we have...
Yeah, we don't have time to read it. And I've kind of gone the other way on pizza. You know, at first I was kind of mocking your cabbage idea. But now that I hear about it, I think cabbage is cooler than pizza. Because what's cooler than kind of being an individual, being your own self?
Right.
You know?
Right.
You're at the party, everyone's going, let's order pizza. Let's order cabbage. This guy's a free thinker. And you know what I mean? And that's kind of what I've also tried to do with my drunk drivers advocacy group is let's think differently. Let's think instead of this being bad, let's think of it as being good. Let's not just be hive mind. And I kind of think the cabbage thing is along with that. A piece of plain cabbage is as good as pizza. Drinking and driving is as good as sober driving.
You don't want to eliminate the bad behavior. You just want to change the bad behavior to make it okay.
I want to legalize it. I also want to normalize it. So it's not considered bad behavior. Let's normalize having a few before you drive. If everybody's drinking and driving, nobody can be blamed for being at fault when there's an accident. If everybody's drinking, suddenly nobody's at fault.
Logic is sound.
That is sound. Well, Mike, what do you think? If you thought pizza before we started, you thought pizza was cool, or you thought it was?
I thought
out?
Pizza was the hot shit.
Yeah. Now,
now I think I'm gonna get one of those smash burgers I was talking about.
More cool smash burger.
Maybe a smash burger on a pizza, or maybe the pizza crust is a smash burger.
That's a great idea. Well, thanks for listening.
Bye.